Hi folks, and welcome back to the channel. A little bit quiet recently, but we've got something new that's just popped up on the horizon. I've gone through doing the aircraft, or some of the aircraft, World War II and the Vulcan, which I did last, and I'm just going to spin the camera around and show you what we've got now. How about that? My first ship, Hms Ajax, and this is one of the vintage classics, I do believe. The mould tools were made in 1965 for this model, so the Ajax is quite famous. It had an illustrious career and is most famous for being part of the British fleet that trapped the Graf Spee in the South Atlantic, just off the coast of Montevideo, if I remember rightly. So we're going to get that out in a second, see what's inside the box. So I've got all the pieces out. It's there's a lot less to it than the Vulcan that I did, but that's okay. The Vulcan was long drawn out over 3 or 4, maybe more, but little videos that I did. This one might be able to get this done in one. Don't know. Give it a try. So first of all, get the instructions and get it out. I'm going to have a quick look at the instructions and we will make a start. So there doesn't look to be any pre-painting of the hull or anything like that, so I should be able to get the two main bits of the hull together, there and there. Sorry, didn't see that. These pieces, two sides of the hull and the deck, 4 and a half decks, and then prop shafts, rudder, and then we can start on some of the gun turrets and that. Anyway, we'll get the first section done, get back to you when I've got that assembled. Okay, so I think we've got it all together. A little bit of excess glue, which is always difficult to avoid. But yeah, it should be okay. We'll let that set now, and then try and get the prop shafts on and the rudder. I might do that in a minute actually. Ooh, if I can move that elastic band out of the way so that I can do it. Okay, that was fiddly getting those prop shafts on. They're not perfect, and there's a lot of excess glue which I'm going to have to clean up somehow. Yeah, I think I'm more or less going to have to leave this all to set now. Really hard. Probably get back to it tomorrow, which will be the next time you hear from me. Hi, so to me it's the next day, but to you it's just a few seconds. So let's spin the camera, and it's daylight now. Okay, so what do? We've done a little bit more last night, and I've got the shafts on, drive shafts, whatever they are. Well, the propulsion system anyway. It's a little bit messy. I've tried cleaning up some of the glue, scraping it off. I'm hoping the paint will cover it up. Right, so we've got the hole together then, and it's looking like we need, what do we need? We need, right, we've done that part, this part. Now we're going to do that, which looks like the control tower of some sort, and it's got some guns on the front, so we'll get on with that. So we've got part of the, I don't know what you call that, command tower. It's this part here. I've yet to do the guns. We'll do that next. Put that together. So I'm now making the gun turrets. So this one is actually upside down, but it fits into there. Didn't fit very well, so I've had to make the hole a bit bigger in that, and it's now slightly too big, but that won't matter. I'm going to glue it, although it says don't glue it. Looking at the instructions, don't glue that, but rules are to be broken. So I've already put some glue in there, just letting that go off a little bit, and these have got to go into there. You can see the size of my finger, and you can see the size of these microscopic gun barrels that I'm going to have to put into there. Right, let me come back. So I put one turret together, and I'm just thinking, well, I might as well do the others. So there's 3 others, and that there are other barrels, so I'm going to get them finished and out of the way, and they can dry off. So while we're waiting for that piece down there to dry, I'm going to jump forward a bit to the end, to the very last piece, because I can get that stuck onto this part of the deck, and that can be gluing as well. That just goes, gonna go on there like so. So we get that glued on there. So what I think I'm going to do now, these are little cannons which fit into those, so I'm going to going to pre-do those so that they're glued up and ready to go, or ready to fit on. In fact, I'm going to do a lot of pre-gluing, so I'm going to put the turret, not the turret, the I don't know what you call that. Where all the smoke comes out of, smokestack. Going to glue that up so that's ready to go on. Do these like I said, prepare them, so there's lots of little bits and pieces here that I can actually glue together and leave in this box to go nice and hard overnight, because I can't really do a lot on there, because now I put that turret on, the cannons are quite delicate, so every time I move it, it moves the cannons out of the way, and I don't want to do that. So we'll get on with the other bits and pieces, which are equally important. Alright, so I've assembled some bits and pieces, or pre-assembled them, just because it's easier to do it this way, and that aeroplane was so fiddly. And what I'm finding is the holes that these little pieces, just take for instance a hole in the bottom of that, they don't fit. You've got to make them, you've got to ream them out a little bit. Hold on, I just dropped something on the floor. Yeah, so anyway, assembled the smokestack. Now what I thought I'd do is, because there's so much going onto the deck, I thought I'd put a coat of deck paint on first before I put anything on top of it, like gun turrets and peripheral bits and pieces, because I think that's going to make life a little bit easier if I get that done first. And then if I need to scratch a bit of paint off to get something to stick on top, then so be it. But so that would be my next task, painting the deck. So back to building a HMS Ajax, and started doing the deck colour. Apparently this is 71, but my 71 here looks nothing like the colour from there. It was quite yellowy, it is quite a yellow colour, and when I got it on the deck, it didn't look right at all. So I'm looking for more of a wooden colour to match that, because these are wooden decks, I assume they are anyway, because the actual colour should be satin oak. Yeah, satin oak. So all I could find that was anything near it was this leather mat, which is a brown. So I've used that on the deck. It's not too bad. It's a bit thin in places. I don't know whether to go over it again. It's already had 2 coats. I could do another coat, I suppose, but it's going to have a lot of bits and pieces on it, covering it all up. So now I need to do some of the edges around here to put grey back over it again, because once I get bits and pieces stuck onto the deck, it's not going to be that easy to paint it. so it's going to be easy to paint it at the moment as it is. So I'll put a bit of paint on here, and then I can start putting together the other bits that I've got in the box here. So I've made put together the funnel, that's ready to go on, and most of the guns, the seaplane, the crane for the seaplane. So I've got a few more bits and pieces to glue together, but which will, if I give that another coat, or if I start painting the ship with some of the other bits of colouring, while that's drying I can assemble some more of these other pieces that have got to be put together. Yeah. Right, so painting is progressing. Starting to lay a bit of grey into it now. The control tower, I'm assuming that's a control tower, is grey. Gun turrets are grey. The future gun turrets I shall paint before I put them on, I think. It's an easy way of doing it. This does seem a little bit tricky. But the side profile of the boat, it doesn't show any deck colour, so I've got to try and get it all grey. You can see the difference of the natural plastic, which is the lower part, and the grey paint, and that's got to go down to the line that is in the middle of the video right now. So I should probably use masking tape to get that nice and neat, hopefully. So there are other bits that I can put together now. Obviously I'm going to have to go, each time I paint I get a bit on the adjacent colour. So I'm going to have to go over with the deck colour now, over the edges there and there. You know, little places like that and that. There, and there's a bit just up underneath the front turret there, but I do that with a smaller brush just to fill it in and try and neaten it up. So what I thought I would do is paint them first. So many of these small bits and pieces, where you can see how absolutely dinky they are compared to my fingers. So I've punched a few holes in there, so all the gun turrets are going to go into these holes, and I'm going to paint them. Ooh. Okay, going to paint them on this card and then transfer them over to the ship once they're dry. They may want a couple of coats, even with the small gun turrets, and put them in the back, and anything else, and then anything else has got to be light grey, which I think is most of this stuff. Radio masts, gates, the lifeboat hangers, but anything like that I'm going to try and paint in its frame before I pull it off, and then I won't have the hassle of trying to do it when it's mounted on the ship, which is making things quite difficult. Not impossible, but I think it will make a much neater job. if I can do it before I glue them on. Yep. Right, so I have pre-painted and assembled a lot of the gun turrets. They're in a little box over the other side of the room, ready to go on, but I don't want to put them on yet. I want to get this hull sorted out. So I need to paint the bottom section of it, as in the instructions there. So paint that, and then hopefully I can mask over what I've painted and then get the grey coming down to match it. Crazily, I've got to somehow do a black line as well in between the two paints. I don't know how that's going to go, but we'll have a try. Anyway, let's get the bottom bit. I'm not going to let you suffer through all the painting. Let's get that sorted out first, and then you can join me a bit later on. So I've just masked up where the red paint is going to go on the bottom of the hull. I don't know whether it's going to be very successful doing it this way, because I've just tried a little bit of tape across the front there where this section is sea grey, painted the sea grey, and it's weeped underneath the masking tape, gone onto the deck boards. So I've now got to go back over that, back over that bit there to give that a neat line. If that happens all the way along, probably going to be a waste of time trying to use masking tape to get a nice straight edge. Anyway, we'll give it a go. I've pressed it down as much as I can. Let's go and get the paint for the lower part of the hull. So that's the bottom part of the hull with two coats of the red on it, and now we're going to peel back the tape, masking tape, and hopefully I've got a reasonably straight edge. So I've done the best I can. I couldn't get masking tape stuck onto the red. Far too difficult up that end. If you can see that with the propellers coming out. I don't know, the propellers, drive shafts. So I've had to do the grey by hand to try and follow that line along. Very tricky, and it's not perfect. If you get too close, you can see the imperfections. And that may have to do. And as for putting a black line between the red and the grey, this bit here, that's going to be an impossibility for me. My hands aren't steady enough to do that freehand, and it's not going to look very good. It's going to look very bodgy. Time I put tape on either side just to get a black line along there. So I'm going to leave it as it is and hope nobody notices. Okay, so I think that's all I'm going to do to the hull. There's some quite ugly bits of paint where the two join, but I've had to do it by hand. Just done the bronze on the propellers. Are they propellers? I don't know. So now I can get on with attaching the rest of the items. So you've got guns, little boats, aeroplane, and the crane for the aeroplane, and some antenna masts, bits and pieces like that. We'll fit those onto the ship next. They're already pre-painted, so hopefully I'll just be able to glue them on okay if I scratch a little bit of the plastic off first, and then maybe touch up the paintwork afterwards. Right, so it looks like I've done as much as I can on the main part of the ship. I've just glued the smokestack on, and now we're going to go and put all the little bits and pieces assembled on the deck, and I'm probably going to use the overhead camera and speed it up a bit so you can watch it go together, hopefully. So I've come to the realization that not all these bits are going to go on this ship. When you look at, now I've already lost one of those somewhere, and I just cannot get them to go into these holes here. So I think far best if I just, can't see that very well, if I just not bother putting them in. Don't know what they are, searchlights possibly. Ooh. Anyway, they're too fiddly. Look at the size of my finger compared to the size of that. I can't seem to get accuracy with these tweezers, so I'm going to give them a skip. Right, as if things aren't fiddly enough. Okay, so that's lifeboat to go on there, but you have to assemble them first and glue them together. Well, that's what I'm doing, but it's fiddly. Everything at this scale, it's so fiddly. So we've got the seaplane section in place. The crane has got to go on. Where's the crane? There it is. Crane goes into there. We've got other bits. Have we got? Oh yeah. Okay, so those two pieces there go in these holes. That one. That one. I think we've got to lifeboat going on. Lifeboat on there. Oh, and there's a lifeboat over here as well, but apparently there's 2 holes for it. I can only see one. I may have to make one. So here's how we're doing so far. We have the seaplane on its ramp, takeoff ramp, cranes in place. What's next? I've got a lifeboat to fit in there, but I don't want to disturb the plane while it's gluing, as I think I will knock it off. Yeah, and there's some more lifeboats to go. I don't know. Where are they going to go? Ah, one there. One there. One there. Then that'll be all the lifeboats on there. It's coming together. So we've got the lifeboats on, the communication masts, crane, I think I mentioned that before. I've just got the side lifeboats which go down on the side there, but I can't put those in yet because I've only just put this mast up and it's very delicate. I don't want to move it. It's just in the right spot, so I shall leave these little lifeboats to tomorrow, and then we will finish up. We'll put the gun turrets in the 2 remaining slots, one up there, one down here. And that should be, oh, anchors, there's a couple of anchors there and there, microscopic things. And what else is there? Is that anything? I'm not sure. Right. So there we are. A few little jobs that I've done today. I put anchors on either side. I've got those lifeboats on either side, and I think it's more or less complete. I've put all the gun turrets on. There's no more pieces, and oh, that's what happens when you're clumsy. Right, so what I'm going to probably do is get a little bit of plywood from my shed, just a small piece, and mount these on, and I might just put a little bit of glue on there just to hold the ship in place. But, I've done it to the best of the instructions would allow, really. There are things that I couldn't put on. Notably, I think they probably are searchlights what fit on top here. You can see the little hole there. Couldn't get them in, and the more I tried, the worse it was getting, so they didn't go on. But everything else seems to be looking okay underneath as well, so we can just give it a little spin around so you can see the other side. Don't know whether to gloss the hole, spray of fast dry project enamel clear. Gives like it's like a lacquer, gives it a shiny surface, but I think probably not. I don't think the original was a glossy surface, so we'll keep it as it is. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please give us a like, subscribe if you would. Subscribing really helps, because it allows me to build the channel up and make some more of these airfix videos. Okay, see you in the next one. Bye for now.